Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the airmap's webinar. Airmap is from the USA and they specialize in flight automation software. They are also a GeoWorks Geotech and based out of GeoWorks office in Singapore. So let me introduce to you Ayush Singhal from airmap. Ayush, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Let me just share my screen. Yep. I hope everyone can see my screen now. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining in. I know it's the last session for the day, so I'll try to keep it as engaging as I can. Just a quick introduction about myself and what we'll be going through over in the next half an hour. I am Ayush Singhal. I lead APAC business operations for airmap. I'm based out of Singapore. In today's session, we'll primarily be talking about two products that airmap has, which are focused towards asset capture and also automating the drone flights for asset management. But before we dive into these two products, I want to give you a quick background about airmap, what the company is, and what do we do. And then we'll dig a little bit deeper into these two products that we have. So airmap is a company that was founded in 2015. Over the years, I would say our mission statement has evolved and expanded. When we started out as an unmanned transport management company based out of Santa Monica in California. For those who don't know unmanned transport management, you can think of it as air traffic controller for drones. So at that time, we started out with the mission that the number of drone operations are increasing, the number of drones in the airspace is increasing. So it started out with the mission to basically enable the digital infrastructure for aviation authorities so that they can enable drone operations in the airspace safely, right? But over the last few years, we have expanded that mission over to enterprises and operators as well, and have added into our product portfolio multiple products that not only support airspace authorities, but also support the operators, drone operators, and enterprises as well, so they can go and scale up drone operations at scale safely. What we have been doing for the last 5 years, so we have been participating in a lot of projects globally. Our projects have primarily ranged from research and development projects, focusing towards how we can enable beyond visual line of sight, complex long-range drone flights across various regions, to doing a nationwide UTM deployment for Switzerland and also for Japan. To give you an example, in Singapore, airmap has been a part of the Future Flight Consortium that has basically been designed to figure out safe ways to enable beyond visual line of sight drone flights over, I would say, dense and urban environments, such as here in Singapore, right? So it's probably one of the most complex projects that we have undertaken in the last couple of years, and we are still working towards delivering that. Just a quick summary of all the different product portfolios that we have. So as I mentioned, in today's day, airmap is basically providing services to airspace authorities, enterprises, and operators. And that's why you see a large list of products over here. But today, we won't be going over all of them. Obviously, we'll be focusing primarily on two products that we have, which are JobSight and TowerSight, which you can see on the right. These are two different products, I would say, but ultimately, these two different products have been based or built on top of a common platform, right? And that's, I would say, where they are unique from all the other similar products that are out there in the market. And what that platform enables is end-to-end automation of the entire drone data supply chain into one seamless workflow, right? So that platform is basically not only automating the drone flight or the drone capture, but it's automating the entire workflow, starting all the way from requesting a mission to planning a mission, dispatching the drone pilot to the site, capturing it, uploading the data, storing the data, and then analyzing the data to produce results, right? So it's basically focused towards automating the entire workflow and not just focused towards automating a certain part within this workflow. Right, so that's I would say it's what's unique about the platform that supports both these products. JobSight is more meant for automating this workflow for construction companies, whereas TowerSight is more focused towards automating this workflow for telecommunication tower companies. You won't see too many towers here in Singapore, but obviously, as we go into the region, I think Asia has one of the largest number of towers. With China having the largest, I think India is on the second, and then Indonesia and Philippines follow closely. So let's look a little bit deeper into JobSight, and then we'll go and look a little bit deeper into TowerSight as well. So the construction industry, right? It's very interesting. I mean, there's been so much construction happening in the last few years, but surprisingly, the construction industry is still struggling with a lot of basic issues that they had over the last decade, and they still have the same problem right now, right? And as you would imagine, the construction industry has a lot of stakeholders, ranging from the asset owner, the contractor, and then the contractor ends up subcontracting a lot of work. So that's why visibility becomes a challenge when it comes to large-scale developments happening in our countries these days. So some of the challenges that were identified are progress monitoring. There is no real single source of truth in that. Rework, a lot of rework obviously imposes a lot of extra cost and budget surplus. Sorry, not budget surplus, but budget overflow. So it's easier and better if you can identify a problem earlier and fix it earlier rather than realizing it a few weeks down the line. Site documentation, so there's no real proof once the building has been constructed. There's just lack of paperwork and proof involving what happened, when it happened, and who did it. And then there are other issues, safety, which is probably the biggest issue that the construction industry faces today, is that even though the amount of construction has increased over the last few years, but then the safety issues or the safety incidents have remained constant, if not increasing over the last few years. So some companies started using, some companies started using drones to fix some of these issues, but then that created a new problem in itself, because now when you are involving or starting a completely different workflow, it's very difficult to reach out to a drone operator to get them to a site. They'll most likely fly a very complex, expensive drone. And at the end of the day, you'll get a list of photographs that they have captured in a Google Drive link or Dropbox or somewhere, right? And then you end up losing that data after a few months. So this is where JobSight came in, right? JobSight was designed by keeping two things in mind. First was enterprise scalability, and the other thing was is automation. So when I say enterprise scalability, I am talking about using cheaper commercial off-the-shelf drones. So a company doesn't have to go out and spend tons of money to do one inspection using a drone every time they have to do it. So now JobSight supports using commercial off-the-shelf products such as a DJI Mavic or a DJI Phantom that you can buy in. It's cheap. It's like $2,000, and then you can use it over the next few years to do your monitoring. And the next one is automation, right? So the flight planning and the flight capture and the insights has been simplified to a level that today when we go to a customer, we don't even say that you need to hire a drone operator to do it. We can simply upskill a current existing person on the site already to go and do this capture for you on a regular basis, right? So it becomes a very easy for construction companies to do regular, repeatable drone captures and always have access to the latest data that's out there. So these are the two things on which I would say JobSight has been built on, and these are the two things that differentiates us from our similar products that are out there as well. A few of the sample deliverables that we do that I want to show you right now. Let's start with 360 photos. 360 photos basically give you a view that you are actually on the site itself, right? So this, as you can see, is a 360 photo with pan and zoom capabilities. It gives you a feeling that you are actually on the site right now, but in reality, the site could be thousands of miles away and you're sitting in the comfort of your office, just getting the real-time view of how the site was yesterday. One of the features that we have built in is this timeline feature that you see here at the bottom. So you can simply toggle between the dates. So you are looking at how this site looked on 3rd of January 2018. Now let's say I want to know how the site looked on 25th of February. I can simply click on this particular date over here, and you can see the 360 photo that was taken on 25th of February shows up here automatically. So you know that the site's pretty much complete on 25th of February over here. You can even do annotations. So if there are certain important aspect that you want everybody to know, you can do annotations. So let's say, for example, I see some safety issue happening here. So I can simply add an annotation over here, enter the details, click on create, and then everybody will be able to see it as and when they are looking at the 360, right? So this enables collaboration and teamwork across various departments as well. The next is image series. Image series is basically the drone flies automatically capturing the perimeter of the entire site. So you get a very nice view of how the site looks like from all the 4 corners. And obviously, if you're flying regularly, you will see the timeline feature enabled here as well at the bottom. And you can simply click between dates and see what the site looked like from this particular angle on an XYZ date that you have done the capture. We have seen a lot of companies use this information to basically evaluate how much work was done between 2 consecutive captures, and if it's as per the timeline or as per the target dates or not. Third one is an Ortho Mosaic. Ortho Mosaic provides you with a bird's eye view of the entire site, and it can basically, it provides you a bird's eye view of the entire site. And in addition, you can do a lot of measurements over this as well. So for example, you want to know, let's say you're looking at this building and you're probably planning to build a parking space on top of the roof. And now you want to know how much space I have available on the roof over here. You can simply click on the area measurement tool here, click on the 4 corners. I'm not sure why this is behaving like this, but you can click on all the 4 corners and you get that you're talking about approximately, let's say 5,500, 5,700 square feet of area over here. And now you know how many parking slots you can make relatively easily just by doing a quick measurement from the Ortho Mosaic itself. Then we have seen customers come up with specific use cases as well. So this one is an example, or this one is basically a demonstration of how one customer started using JobSight to do inspection post doing a concrete pour. So from what I understand, concrete pour is obviously an expensive and a difficult activity to reverse. So a lot of customers simply want to do an inspection right on top of the roof before they are about to do a concrete pour, so that they can know of any defects in the structure before they go and do a concrete pour, because then it's just very difficult to go back and fix it. Another use case that we have seen people use it is for facade inspections. I think facade inspections is becoming soon, it already is, or it's going to become a mandatory requirement for all the buildings in Singapore as well. But what you are seeing here in facade inspection is the drone flies much closer to the building, because obviously you need better images for a facade inspection. And as you can see on the left, the drone's doing multiple orbits around the site itself. Let me zoom in a little bit. So all of these red bubbles that you are seeing are the places from where images were taken. And as you can see, for this particular building, 4 orbits were done to capture high quality images when the drone's flying autonomously close to a building, capturing all of these images, right? So as I mentioned, all of this flying and all of this data capture that I just showed you happened with autonomous flight of the drone around the building. So that basically eliminates the need for a highly experienced drone operator coming to the site and doing these jobs. You can simply, let's say, get the project manager on the site or the site manager on the site upskilled to fly a drone, get him the operator license or the pilot license, and then he or she can simply do these flights as and when they want according to the schedule that has been decided, right? So it not only reduces the cost per capture, It also enables you to do more captures and basically be able to provide timely updates to your superiors, your management, the asset owners, the different contractors that are in there. And this can then become a single source of truth for all the information that you need about that site. So that was a quick demonstration of the product. I mean, obviously, we have a lot of customers globally. The software has been selling in the US for the last few years, and it's been newly introduced in the Asia Pacific region as well. So we are working towards building a strong customer base in Asia Pacific right now. Now let's look at the next software, and I want to try and get over this quickly so we can have a Q&A round and an engaging discussion around it. But the second product that I wanted to highlight is TowerSight. As the name suggests, it does something similar, but for telecommunication towers. So tower industry had their own issues where the data accuracy is very low. It's very expensive to capture the data on a tower. It's dangerous because somebody actually has to climb up on the tower to be able to capture that data. And because most of that capture happens manually, it leads to a lot of inaccuracies in the data. And that's basically saying that you are a landlord and let's say you have 5 houses as a landlord, and you don't even know if one of your house has been tenanted or not, because for these telecommunication tower companies, the tower is an asset, and they basically lend out the space on that tower company for a mobile network operator to come and put their equipment on, right? So if you don't even know how much equipment that is there on the tower, that's basically saying that I don't even know if one of my house is rented out or not, right? So you might be losing out on tons of revenue if you don't even have accurate data to begin with. So again, TowerSight basically helps you do just that. It automates drone flight around a telecommunication tower. So you can see this flight over here with red bubbles. That's a flight that's been automated. So the drone basically flies around the tower, automatically capturing all of that data, and then turns that capture into insights. And I'm going to show you what those insights look like. It is different from JobSight in a way that we then apply a lot of artificial intelligence on top of the capture that has been done to generate actual insights. So let me show you a quick video to demonstrate that. There's no audio in the video, so let's not worry about that. So as you can see, you will see a screen right now, which basically is a user UI for our application that we have. And the drone flies autonomously around these circular orbits that you are seeing here on the bottom left. So these blue circles are basically orbits in which the drone's gonna fly autonomously, capturing images every 2 seconds, right? And the drone pilot is just there on the ground, making sure that the drone is safe, but he's not or she is not actively flying the drone. Right. So once the data has been captured and we have processed it through our engines, what you're going to see here is a 3D model that we create for the tower, which is a photorealistic 3D model that we have created for the tower itself. You can zoom in, obviously, and get to a detail where you're able to see all the wires that are in here as well. On top of it, artificial intelligence lets us detect equipment on the tower. So as you can see, if I toggle on any of these panels or dishes, then the corresponding equipment will be highlighted here on this viewer as well. And then you can double click on any of this equipment and you will get a lot of data about this, right? So you'll know at what height is this particular equipment hosted at. You will know what are the dimensions of the equipment. You will know which direction the equipment is facing, and if the equipment is tilted or if it's put straight on the tower as well. And this information is very important for mobile network operators and for tower companies both, right? So this information is very important for them. And using artificial intelligence, you are able to simplify the entire process of capturing that data. And because the process is automated, you know that you're gonna get accurate data every time you process or fly the drone around the tower. So that's that. And then obviously we generate a CSV file with all of that data as well. So if any company wants to import that data into their system, they can simply go and import it as well. Cool. And automated reports. So I don't want to go into details, but yeah, we do generate automated reports and CSV files. So customers can directly get access to the most accurate data directly into their databases. It's pretty intuitive, but as you can see, it makes the entire inspection process much more safer because you don't really need to climb the towers. It takes lesser time. Usually, I think one audit takes pretty much a day, a little over a day sometimes. But the drone flight takes like 40 minutes, 45 minutes at max. So you can be in and out of the site within 2 hours, give or take. So whereas one team was able to do only one site in a day, or maybe less than one site in a day, now they'll be able to complete 2 to 3 sites within the same day. So it's cheaper, and you realize that there's so much space on the tower, or there might be equipment on the tower that you're not billing for. So there's just an incremental increase in the revenue with the high accuracy of data that you have captured. And I think that's all from my side. This is just one of our case studies that we have. Rakuten in Japan has been using this particular software for a few months now, and they have been, I think they've already completed 1,000+ inspections in the last 2 to 3 months, and the plan is for them to scale this up across Japan. So that's a big achievement for Rakuten and for us. And that's all from my side. So questions? Okay, I don't see any open questions right now.
Everyone, you're welcome to place your questions in the Q&A box. So maybe Ayush, you could start with the first question. What are your markets that you are into right now in and around Asia Pacific?
Sorry, why don't I see this question? But okay.
Just in general, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so for the two products, one is JobSight and one is TowerSight. Our go-to-market strategy is relatively different. TowerSight is something that we are selling directly. In use, I would say we have existing customers or potential customers for TowerSight in Australia, in Japan, in India, and also in Indonesia. And we are right now talking to E.co. So if that goes through, then that would enable our presence in Malaysia and Cambodia as well. And for JobSight, we are right now working through our channel partners to get into the market. We have channel partners in most of the countries across Asia Pacific right now. And if anybody is interested, they'll be able to provide support within the country directly as well.
Do you have any case studies of those products in use in Singapore at the moment?
Singapore is a unique example, I would say, right? So you won't see too many towers in Singapore. I mean, I personally saw just one tower in Singapore, and that was all the way in the north in Punggol, I think it was. So Singapore TowerSight is a non-existent business, to be honest, because they're not just telecommunication towers out there that needs inspection. You will primarily see small antennas that have been put up on top of roofs, but Singapore does not have big towers that needs inspection. So that's that. And similarly for JobSight, Singapore is so dense that in order to be able to fly a drone safely between two buildings is not very feasible. So yes, I would say Singapore, we don't have a case study in Singapore, but we do have successful case studies across the region.
Do you personally think that the market for drone solutions is saturated at this moment?
I think there are a lot of noise around it. There are a lot of solutions that you would see that are out there with highly varying capabilities, right? And that's actually confusing the market a lot. So if you go and find a construction monitoring software, you will go and find tons of people who are offering that solution. But I would say only 2 or 3 providers that are out there who are actually delivering quality results. So yes, I would say it is an upcoming industry. A lot of people are trying to get into it, which is creating a lot of issues with the quality of the product from both sides. A, the people who want to use it, are not that exposed to what the right quality should be. And the people who are starting to deliver those products have a long learning curve. I would say, given our strategic partners that we have partnered with all over the globe, we have been able to get a competitive advantage over those.
Is AirMap going to look into the agriculture industry in the future?
Good question. I probably don't have the right answer for it right now, but I would say we started off with these two verticals. The third vertical that we are going to be focusing on would be solar, and I think agriculture is going to come after that.
And how does AirMap identify channel partners?
I would say it's primarily based on their experience and their reach within the country. So most of our channel partners, which you can find on our website as well, are companies who have been in the drone industry for a few years. Especially for JobSight, we would prefer companies who have some experience of working in the construction business as well. So we do our research. We do have connections in various countries. I mean, my boss, the senior salesperson in the region, has been in Asia for 30 plus years. So he knows a lot of people. So I think that's the primary source. Hello?
All right, does anyone have any more questions? Okay, so we'll just wrap up this webinar. Thanks very much, Ayush, for sharing with us about AirMap, and we'll see each other soon.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for attending.